All praise are due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most gracious and the most merciful. And the best of His peace and blessings shall be bestowed upon His beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and upon those that follow his footsteps. يقول ربنا عز وجل في القرآن الكريم: يا أيها الذين آمنوا ما لكم إذا قيل لكم انفروا في سبيل الله اثاقلتم إلى الأرض. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the ayat that we'll be reading, is addressing al-mu'mineen, commenting on a very, very important behavior. The ayat were revealed at the time of Ghazwat Tabuk, when Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam called upon al-mu'mineen to be ready for al-jihad, to defend Islam, to defend al-Madinah, to defend al-Risala, the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And at the time of Tabuk, Muslims were at a state of comfort and luxury compared to what they were facing prior to that time. So some of as-Sahaba, their response to the call was not as zealous and energetic as it was supposed to be, or as it was prior to that state of comfort. And this is the topic of today, responding to the call of Allah to defend your deen and lessons learned from al-HIJRA. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addressing as-Sahaba, and in this address, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu, which means this is not specific to as-Sahaba. This is very important. So we are included in this address. We're included in the call. So listen up. يا أيها الذين آمنوا ما لكم إذا قيل لكم انفروا في سبيل الله ثاقلتم إلى الأرض. O you who believe, first of all, you are claiming that you are believers, so you're included in this message. What's wrong with you? This is the simplest way of explaining ما لكم. What's wrong with you? Why is it that when you are called انفروا في سبيل الله, والنفير is the energetic, zealous response to a call. Nafir, it's not moving slowly, it's not moving with hesitation, it's not moving with extra cautious or being extra cautious. Yeah, we have to move with caution. However, zealous, energetic. Why zealous and energetic? To show Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we are always ready to defend our deen, to defend our belief, to defend our rights, and stand up with the proper means to ask for our rights. So why are you moving so slowly when you're called to defend your rights, your religion? أرضيتم بالحياة الدنيا من الآخرة? Did you settle with your livelihood, with this beautiful life, over the life of Akhirah? Is it this life that made you so luxurious and so complacent that you don't want to move and do anything that you think that's going to have a little bit of discomfort or risk? فما متاع الحياة الدنيا في الآخرة إلا قليل. Allah is reminding us subhanahu wa ta'ala that the enjoyment of life compared to what you will see in al-akhirah is nothing, is trivial, is qaleel, is little. If you compare, if because of your hesitation are the pleasures of this dunya, think again. because the pleasures of dunya are nothing compared to the pleasures of al-akhirah. إلا تنفروا يعذبكم عذابا أليما ويستبدل قوما غيركم ولا تضروه شيئا. If you do not respond to the call of Allah, again, if you do not respond to the call of Allah, to do what? To defend your rights, to defend your deen, to defend your right to follow your belief. These are your rights. If you don't move and do what you're supposed to do, if you don't participate with your community to do what you're supposed to do, what happens? يُعَذِّبْكُمْ عَذَابًا أَلِيمًا. And this is very clear. There will be adhab. There will be consequences that we'll have to pay. And it's adhab. That means it's going to be painful. And we see how painful it is. When we see Muslim students in schools being berated, humiliated, insulted. Why? Because they defended their rights not to participate. Because they defended their rights not to change their belief or abandon their belief. This is what our kids are doing. They're being berated. We're getting recordings after recordings to prove what parents are saying, because some people saying, no, there's nothing, everything is good. You're just being influenced by a right wing from outside of the country. You're just listening to rumors. No, we're not listening to rumors. Parents are complaining, children are complaining. We listen to them and we know there are problems. So now we're getting proofs, physical proofs and recordings. We know that our religion is being attacked. Our children's freedom of religion is being attacked. And if we don't do anything about it, يُعَذِّبْكُمْ عَذَابًا شَدِيدًا. There will be adhab. Definitely. If la samah Allah, you know that your child, for example, if a Muslim child was convinced or driven out of his deen, don't you think this is a adhab to any parents? Wallahi, it's a adhab. So when we think adhab, think consequence and outcome of your wrong actions or lack of actions that will result in something very painful, such as losing your child, la samah Allah, out of Islam. That's adhab shadid. يُعَذِّبْكُمْ عَذَابًا أَلِيمًا. That's adhab alim, very painful. وَيَسْتَبْدِلْ قَوْمًا غَيْرَكُمْ. And guess what? وَيَسْتَبْدِلْ قَوْمًا غَيْرَكُمْ وَلَا تَضُرُّوهُ شَيْئًا وَاللَّهُ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ. Allah's message is protected. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us that He will protect His message with us or without us. We are tools. We want to have the honor of protecting Allah's message and being used as protectors of Allah's message, then we will get highly rewarded. But if we do not move and we end up feeling the pain, Allah will replace us. Replace us, what does it mean to replace us? We're all going to disappear and someone else will come? No. Every person that will not do his job, there will be a person that will do his job, the job of 1 and 2 and 10, and you will be losing the reward. وَالْعِيَاذُ بِاللَّهِ. You're going to lose the honor of being ibad al-Rahman, of being those that are moving for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and protecting their children and protecting their deen. There will be a replacement for sure. وَلَا تَضُرُّوهُ شَيْئًا. And your lack of action, your hesitance, it's not going to harm the deen. Don't worry. It is protected. If it's going to harm anybody, it's us that are going to get harmed by not doing what we're supposed to do. وَاللَّهُ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ. And remember that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is qadir. He's most able and capable of everything and anything. He's given us a chance to work. We fail ourselves. He will intervene. We want to be the ones that will be used to protect our deen. He will support us. إِن تَنْصُرُوا اللَّهَ يَنْصُرْكُمْ وَيُثَبِّتْ أَقْدَامَكُمْ. Remember, these ayat are not just on the battlefield, my dear brothers and sisters. We always think of these ayats as ayats in the battlefield. No, they're ayats that are applied everywhere in life. And it is a battle for you to defend your rights and freedoms. It is a battle. It is a battle and a jihad for you to defend your right to follow your deen, to protect your deen, to even hold on to your deen nowadays. It's a battle on its own. And we need Allah's support in such great battles. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala moves from addressing His Sahaba in Tabuk to remind them of something extremely important, which is the event of Al-HIJRA, where He said subhanahu wa ta'ala, إِلَّا تَنْصُرُوهُ فَقَدْ نَصَرَهُ اللَّهُ. If you don't support him, فَقَدْ نَصَرَهُ اللَّهُ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will support him, and He's going to give you the proof. But we're talking here about supporting Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And we said that these ayat are for al-mu'mineen, that include us. How are we going to support Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? For this to be applicable, well, tansuru, to support Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is to support his message, is to support his sunnah, is to support his teachings, is to support the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that came through him. This is the nusra that we need to perform to our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, by protecting our deen, by defending our right to follow the dictates of our religion. This is the nusra that we're talking about here. And it's valid for every time and every age, and for all al-mu'mineen that want to be included in the group of al-mu'mineen. Allahumma ja'alna minhum, Allahumma ameen. إِلَّا تَنْصُرُوهُ فَقَدْ نَصَرَهُ اللَّهُ. If you don't want to support him right now, Allah wants to remind you that He already supported him when إِذْ أَخْرَجَهُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا إِذْ أَخْرَجَهُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا. During his time in Mecca, when Muslims were a minority, something like the condition we're in right now. When the Muslimin were a minority in Mecca, subjected to all sorts of pressure for them to abandon their deen, when people were plotting against al-Muslimin, remembering that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us in Surah Al-Anfal, وَإِذْ يَمْكُرُ بِكَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا لِيُثْبِتُوكَ أَوْ يَقْتُلُوكَ أَوْ يُخْرِجُوكَ وَيَمْكُرُونَ وَيَمْكُرُ اللَّهُ وَاللَّهُ خَيْرُ الْمَاكِرِينَ. Allah is reminding us of this ayah. The condition of this minority, it seems like it's applied or will be applied or is applicable when al-Muslimin are in minorities and end up facing pressure for them to let go of their deen, to abandon their deen, to change their deen, to distort their deen. إِذْ يَمْكُرُ بِكَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا لِيُثْبِتُوكَ. Allah is reminding us that there will always be plots. There will always be a party that wants to put pressure on us. A group that doesn't like our deen. A group that doesn't like the principles of Islam. There will always be someone. And these people will plot to do what? First one, لِيُثْبِتُوكَ. لِيُثْبِتُوكَ means to render you incapable. To tie you up. Means you have no influence, you have no effect in society, you're just a piece of furniture, like we say in Arabic. Useless. So you're not able to exercise your deen, you're not able to live, to practice, to manifest, to hold. Yeah, you can hold your deen in your heart, but we don't want to hear about it. لِيُثْبِتُوكَ, to make sure your religion does not go beyond your heart. And if we can change it in your heart, we will. لِيُثْبِتُوكَ أَوْ يَقْتُلُوكَ أَوْ يُخْرِجُوكَ. So step number one is to make sure you're ineffective. And if they can't do this, they could move to step number two. يقتلوك. And this is the plot against Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They wanted to kill him because they couldn't stop him from living his deen that they didn't like in Mecca. They tried everything. They told him, how about you change this in your deen and we will be happy and friends? He said, no. والله لو وضعوا القمر بيميني والشمس بشمالي ما تركت هذا الأمر أو أموت دونه. He said, oh, by Allah, if they give me everything on earth, the sun and the moon, I will never change my deen. This is the position of Muhammad when he was under pressure to change his deen. And we are under pressure to change our deen. We're not going to accept it. And he was subjected to death and murder, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saved him. أو يخرجوك, or to kick you out. And this is what happens when people start having problems with your deen. Eventually they say, we don't want you. You don't fit. You're not Canadian. And this is what our children are being told in schools. This is not Canadian. يخرجوك, what do you want? We're being told to leave. Is that what's happening? Wallahi, this is what we've been hearing. We're not making anything up. وَيَمْكُرُونَ وَيَمْكُرُ اللَّهُ وَاللَّهُ خَيْرُ الْمَاكِرِينَ. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the best of planners. So you need to know that there's a plan. Allah plans. And this is where it takes us to the next point. إذ أخرجه الذين كفروا ثاني اثنين إذ هما في الغار إذ يقول لصاحبه لا تحزن إن الله معنا. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he started his hijrah, it was not an emotional reaction. It was very well planned and very well executed. He planned. He was ready, financially ready. When he was given the order to start the journey, he went to Abu Bakr, although Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu wa ardah, he had tried to make hijrah on his own because the order came from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam allowing the Sahaba to make hijrah first. He wanted to be the last as the leader to make sure everybody is out. So Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu, he wanted to perform hijrah. But Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam told him to wait. لَعَلَّ اللَّهَ يَجْعَلَ لَكَ صَاحِبًا. Wait, you might have a companion. Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu, when he heard this, he bought 2 camels. And he got ready for the journey. 2 camels for whom? For him, and hoping the second one would be for Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Asking for a suhbah, for the companionship. And he would remind Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam every time, isn't it time for us to leave? His love, his passion. He wanted to start the new journey. He wanted to have the companionship of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam on this great journey. This was not an easy journey. They did not book a first class, business class on an airline to go from Mecca to Medina. They did not go through or in a luxurious train to go to Mecca, from Mecca to Medina. This was in the Sahara, in deserts, surrounded by threats, surrounded by challenges. And Quraysh was looking for them to assassinate both of them. That was not an easy journey. But Abu Bakr Siddiq knew our journey is not easy, but he's asking for suhbat Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, even through hardship. And when Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam came and told him, it's time, قال الصحبة يا رسول الله, الصحبة يا رسول الله, am I your companion? And he cried. And cried as Aisha radiallahu anha described. And he told him, as-suhbah. Are we all ready to be like Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu and ask for suhbat Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, knowing that it's a tough journey, knowing that it's full of hardships and maybe harms? Are we seeking this suhbah despite of the harms that we see? Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in this ayat, when he told Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Abu Bakr Siddiq radiyallahu anhu wa ardah, إذ أخرجه الذين كفروا ثاني اثنين إذ هما في الغار. Abu Bakr Siddiq got the honor of being mentioned in the Quran as the second of two. None of the ummah has this status. Only one person who was ready to risk his entire life to go on this journey with Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When he was in the Ghar Thawr, he saw mushrikeen, he saw their legs, they were in this little cave. And he said, I looked down and I see them. If any of them just looked to their feet, they would see us. He was worried. And I would want to say, not worried about himself, he was worried about Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Facing this danger, still loving Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam and worried about him and wanting to protect him. But Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, لا تحزن إن الله معنا. لا تحزن, do not fear. If we wanted the suhbah of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, we wanted to go through this hardship, defend our deen, defend Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, support Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, defend his message, لا تحزن إن الله معنا. This is a message from Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam to you. لا تحزن إن الله معنا. Do not fear anything. You have Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on your side. فأنزل الله سكينته عليه وأيده بجنود لم تروها. Guess what happened after? Guess what happened if we stick to this support to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and supporting his message despite of the fear that is visible, despite of the threats that are visible, despite of the harm that we see surrounding us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bring down sakina, will bring down victory, calmness, tranquility, will bring, this is a promise from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَأَيَّدَهُ بِجُنُودٍ لَمْ تَرَوْهَا. Another thing that we need to know as Muslims, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has junood. And if we go back to the story of Al-HIJRA, we know the number of junood that were sent. We know that the horse of Suraqa was not able to get to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and will trip every time. But someone would say, but these are miracles only for the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And I would tell you no. Junoodullah are everywhere. And they're still here. Because Junoodullah are the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The creation of Allah, the sun and the moon and the wind and everything around us, the insects, everything is the khalqullah, Junoodullah. Allah has a plan. We plan and He has a plan. He just wants us to see us moving. He wants to know that we're serious. And then His plan will be executed. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us clearly that at the end His plan will prevail. وأنزل وأيده بجنود لم تروها وجعل كلمة الذين كفروا السفلى. Allah's plan will prevail. The word of those that want to hide al-Islam, that want to reject our principles, that have a problem with our principles, the words will be the inferior one, meaning it's not going to succeed. Those that are trying to distort your religion, they're not going to succeed. Allah told us. Allah told us their word will be the inferior. وَكَلِمَةُ اللَّهِ هِيَ الْعُلْيَا. And the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His deen and His message. Here is a clear promise from Al-HIJRA. His message will prevail and it will hold intact and strong, untouched and unharmed. And this is what we want. We don't want anybody to mess with our deen. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Wallahu azizun hakim. Allahu azizun hakim. Al-aziz, azizul janib. No one can come near to Allah's orders and Allah's commands and Allah's deen. It's protected, it's powerful, and Allah is all-wise. So if you see something that you don't understand, why are things happening this way? It's okay. If you feel confused, it's okay. Know that by Nusrat al-Habib al-Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, especially remembering his hijrah, standing up for his deen and his message, Allahu Azizun Hakim. and kalimatullah hiya al-ulya, and Allah will protect us and protect our deen. Finally, we remember, my dear brothers and sisters, that the migration of Muhammad ﷺ is one of the greatest examples of sacrifice. Life is not meant to be an easy ride. Life, as we know it, it's a test. It's a challenge. And this is why the reward is azim. This is why the reward is great. There's no meaning for a great reward if this was an easy life. However, the challenge will increase and decrease based on our work. If we work collectively in a proper manner, the challenge will decrease, and this is a promise from Allah. But if we work individually and do not support one another, support our community, the challenge will increase. Adaban alima. But we need to know the sacrifice of Muhammad ﷺ through his words as he was leaving Mecca, and he looked back and said, والله إنك لخير أرض الله وأحب أرض الله إلى الله ولولا أني أخرجت منك ما خرجت. Muhammad ﷺ was not thrilled about leaving Mecca. He said, Wallahi, you are the most beloved, you are the best of lands of Allah. Mecca, and the most beloved to me. And remember, after his departure from Mecca, he never lived in Mecca after. He never. He sacrificed the most beloved places to him, knowing that there will be a sacrifice, my dear brothers and sisters. But I tell you, this sacrifice is worth it. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Al-Mujadila, كَتَبَ اللَّهُ لَأَغْلِبَنَّ أَنَا وَرُسُلِي إِنَّ اللَّهَ قَوِيٌّ عَزِيزٌ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prescribed, and written means it's a done deal. No question, no argument. كَتَبَ اللَّهُ. What? لَأَغْلِبَنَّ أَنَا وَرُسُلِي. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's religion will be the victorious, will be solid, intact. No one can change it. And when we talk about victory here, we're not talking about taking over the world. For us as Muslim Canadians, we're going to be very clear. We don't want anybody messing with our religion or changing our religion. And Allah promised us that our religion will be untouched. It will be saved from any attempts to change it. We just need to remember that we have a duty of Nusrat Muhammad ﷺ and Nusrat his religion, saving our children, protecting and defending our rights to follow our religion as it is, as revealed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect us and protect our religion. Allahumma ameen. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to show us the right path and help us follow it. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to shower us with his mercy.